You're not bad with money. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. But there is one invisible force quietly shaping almost every financial decision you make. And unless you understand it, it will continue to sabotage your wealth no matter how hard you work, how much you earn, or how motivated you feel. This isn't about budgeting apps. It's not about investing strategies. It's not even about income. It's about a mental bias so common, so subtle, that most people never notice it operating in their lives. And by the time they do, years have already passed. Opportunities missed, money leaked, time gone. This one mental bias is destroying your wealth without you realizing it. My name is Linda, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart, hardworking people stay financially stuck. If you want to understand money at a deeper psychological level and finally stop repeating the same patterns, subscribe to the channel and stay with me through this one. This might be the most important financial concept you ever learn. Let's start with something painfully familiar. You tell yourself you'll start saving next month. You tell yourself you'll invest when things calm down. You tell yourself you'll get serious about money once you feel more stable. And every time it feels reasonable, logical, responsible even. But months turn into years, and somehow you're always about to start, but never actually ahead. This isn't a discipline problem. It's not a motivation problem. It's a perception problem. The bias I'm talking about is called present bias, and once you see it, you'll realize it has been quietly running your financial life from the background. Present bias is the tendency to value immediate comfort, relief, or pleasure far more than future benefit, even when the future benefit is objectively larger. In simple terms, your brain is wired to care more about now than later. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. Your brain evolved to survive today, not to optimize retirement accounts 30 years from now. And that mismatch between ancient wiring and modern money is where everything starts to go wrong. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. You come home after a long day. You're mentally drained, emotionally tired. Your brain is searching for relief. And then you see it. Food delivery, a small purchase, a quick upgrade, a harmless expense. You tell yourself, I deserve this. And in that moment, you're not thinking about interest rates, long-term goals, or opportunity cost. You're thinking about how to feel better right now. So you spend. And here's the dangerous part. Your brain learns something from that moment. It learns that money equals relief. And once that association is formed, it gets reinforced again and again. Stress shows up, spend money, feel better, repeat. This is present bias in action, and it doesn't just affect small purchases, it shapes your entire financial trajectory. Let's zoom out. Why do people delay investing, even when they know it's important? Why do people keep money in low-interest accounts while inflation quietly eats it away? Why do people avoid checking their finances altogether? Because the discomfort of dealing with money now feels worse than the abstract pain of being broke later. Your brain discounts the future. It treats future you like a stranger, and you would never sacrifice your comfort today for a stranger, would you? That's exactly what's happening. Future you is paying the price for present you's comfort. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but isn't this just normal behavior? Yes, that's what makes it so dangerous. Because when something is normal, we stop questioning it. And when we stop questioning it, it controls us. Here's a powerful example. Imagine I offered you two options. Option 1, receive £100 today. Option 2, receive £150 in 1 year. A shocking number of people choose £100 today, even though waiting gives them more. Now, stretch that logic over decades. That's what's happening with your money. Small, repeated decisions favoring now over later compound into massive financial gaps. And compounding works both ways. Just like money can compound positively, financial neglect compounds negatively. Now let's talk about why this bias is especially destructive in modern life. In the past, rewards were delayed by default. You had to work, wait, and endure discomfort to get results. Today, everything is instant. Food, entertainment, shopping, validation. Relief is always one click away, and money has become the fastest way to access comfort. So present bias is constantly being triggered. Every ad you see is designed to exploit it. Buy now, limited time, don't miss out. They're not selling products, they're selling relief, and your brain responds automatically. Here's where things get uncomfortable. Present bias doesn't just affect spending, it affects earning decisions too. People stay in unfulfilling jobs because change feels uncomfortable now, even if staying costs them more in the long run. People avoid learning new skills because effort today feels heavier than regret tomorrow. People don't negotiate salaries because rejection now feels worse than being underpaid for years. Again, present bias. Short-term emotional safety over long-term gain. And the system rewards this behavior. You can survive like this, barely, which is why so many people never realize what's holding them back. They're not failing dramatically, they're slowly leaking potential. Now let's address a common misconception. People think wealth is about intelligence, or discipline, or having the right strategy. But research in behavioral economics shows that financial outcomes are far more influenced by behavior patterns than knowledge. Most people know they should save, they know they should invest, they know they should plan, but knowing doesn't beat wiring, and unless you actively design around present bias, it will always win. Here's the brutal truth. You will never outthink this bias. You can't logic your way out of it, because it operates emotionally, not rationally. That's why people make the same financial mistakes over and over, even after learning better. The bias is stronger than intention. So what actually works? Before we answer that, we need to go deeper, because present bias has a partner, and together they form the most destructive financial loop most people live inside. The partner is loss aversion. Loss aversion means your brain experiences losses more intensely than gains. Losing 100 pounds hurts more than gaining 100 pounds feels good. So when you combine present bias and loss aversion, something powerful happens. Spending money now feels like relief. Saving or investing feels like loss. Even though saving increases your future wealth, your brain registers it as giving something up today, so you avoid it. This is why people say things like, "I can't afford to save." What they really mean is, "I can't handle the feeling of loss right now." This is not about math, it's about emotion, and until you understand that, you'll keep fighting yourself. Let me give you a real-world scenario. You decide to save 300 pounds per month. The moment that money leaves your account, your brain reacts. It notices the reduced balance. It feels restricted. It feels like something was taken, even though nothing bad actually happened. That emotional reaction is enough to make most people quit, so they conclude that saving doesn't work for them. But the truth is, their brain wasn't designed to like it. Now, here's the most important part so far. People who build wealth aren't immune to these biases. They don't have stronger willpower. They simply structure their environment so these biases work in their favor. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, because systems don't get tired. Biases don't disappear, but they can be redirected. Think about automatic pension contributions. Why do they work so well? Because they remove the decision. The money is gone before your brain can argue. No pain, no debate, no emotional resistance. That's not discipline, that's design. And this is where most people go wrong. They try to fix a psychological problem with motivational solutions, and motivation always loses. Now, before we move on, I want you to really sit with this idea.
If your financial struggles were caused by lack of effort, working harder would have fixed them by now. If they were caused by lack of knowledge, learning more would have fixed them by now. But if they're caused by invisible biases guiding daily decisions, then the solution looks very different. It looks boring, it looks structural, it looks unsexy, and that's why most people ignore it. In the next part, we're going to break down exactly how present bias quietly controls your spending habits, your savings behavior, your investing delays, your career decisions, and your tolerance for financial discomfort. And most importantly, how to break the cycle without relying on willpower. Because once you see how this bias actually works day to day, you'll realize the game was never fair to begin with, and that awareness is where real financial control starts.